This video will show you exactly how to tap into your core vibration to attract in a much more powerful way. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and why it is so important. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you ways that you can tap into what is called your core vibration to attract anything you want, and especially making things more easy than ever because you're actually existing at really who you are meant to be. Sometimes we have goals or things we want to manifest in our life, but they may not actually be in alignment with what is called our core frequency, our core vibration. Now, what quantum physics shows us is that everything in our lives is vibration. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. Now, as a soul and as a person, we have a core vibration that if we align with, we will attract everything into our life more quickly than ever. It's just that sometimes what happens is we're conditioned by our environment to be a certain way. We're conditioned to look a certain way, to dress a certain way because of society, because of a desire to fit in. And when we start to really come from this frame that we are just going to be who we are, it's the most cliche saying ever, just be yourself, just be you. But it is the truth when it comes to our core vibration. Now, let's look at who we are. At a greater level, we are immortal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. In a way, we could say that life is a form of dream. Life is a temporary experience we have. We interpret the world through our five senses, through being able to hear, smell, touch, taste, see, all of these. These are all ways that we interpret vibration. Now what happens is we get lost in our self-concept or our self-image. We get lost in the way that we think we have to be in order to be accepted, because there's such a strong desire to be similar to everyone else and to not be ostracized from the group. Now the key is understanding who we are at our core vibration and letting go of this pull of what we could call social conditioning, this pull to be a certain way, this pull to act a certain way, to be accepted. Now, the key to this is understanding how we relate to who we really are. Now, we are really who we really are. Our natural state of being from a higher level of consciousness is unconditional love and bliss. When we look at someone else and we view them as that, we will feel that emotion. Now, anytime we look at something, we think it should be different than it is, we judge it in the present moment, and we see it as a problem, we feel negative emotion. Our emotions are showing us where we are in alignment to who we really are. This is like the classic Abraham Hicks type analogy or kind of metaphor, but it's understanding our emotions are either in alignment with who we really are. We could say through our eyes of source. If we're seeing through the eyes of source, we feel unconditional love and bliss. That is who we really are. And anytime we feel disconnected from that, it's coming from a perspective that is not aligned with that source energy, with who we really are at our fundamental core. So when it comes to us attracting what we want in our life, it's really about just aligning with a certain emotion. Now the emotion is that of passion. It's that of loving what we do. If we do that, things will attract to us faster than ever. But it's finding out what that is, because whatever that is, it's where we don't have to expend a lot of energy. Now this is the other part that I want to talk about in this video. Anytime we do something we're not really passionate about at our core vibration, it takes a lot of energy to do. Maybe a time in your life you've worked a job that you weren't crazy about. A job that you really didn't enjoy working, you went in every day, you felt like you had to waste so much energy to be there because it wasn't something you were passionate about. Now on the other side of that, maybe you've done something before that didn't feel like work. You just hopped into a flow state, things just happen easily, and you look at the clock and all of a sudden it's been 2 hours, but it feels like it's been 15 minutes. That's because you tapped into a flow state, and in that flow state, you are in a feeling of that excitement. Maybe it was a settled excitement. Sometimes following our excitement and following our bliss doesn't mean that we're constantly like blissed out and just like running around feeling this, absolute euphoria, but it's a gentle passion and excitement for who we really are. Now, when we follow our passion, when we follow our excitement, we are in alignment with what we could call that source energy. We are in alignment with our higher self. And we're not just limiting it to our ego self, because our ego wants to do everything. Many times when it comes to manifestation, I notice, and what I'm learning, is to go beyond just the ego. Why does the ego want what it wants? Why does the ego want the relationship? Why does the ego want the money? Why does the ego want the house? Many times, and there's nothing wrong with these things, but the key is being aware of why the ego wants what it wants, because then we could see, is this really in alignment with my core frequency? We think it is, but many times it may actually not be. We may think, hey, winning the lottery would be amazing. And I'm just excited about winning the lottery. But in actuality, if we win the lottery, we're not really passionate. We think we'd be passionate about the money, but we're not really passionate about the money, because the money is a side effect of us doing what we're passionate about or doing what we love. And if we're not doing that already, then even if we get the money, we won't have anything to fuel the money into. So, what is your core vibration? I'll tell you right now that your core vibration, it involves unconditional love and bliss. That is part of it. Now, what you do is you taper that with what you are passionate about and moving in that direction, because it takes the least amount of energy. There's not a high degree of energy expenditure there. Anytime we're thinking of thoughts that don't serve us, we expend energy. Anytime we eat a lot of food that doesn't serve our body, or that takes our body a lot of energy to break down, we're expending energy. In order for us to really create what we want in life, our manifestations take energy, but it doesn't have to be hard work. What it could be is, it could be simply that what we must do is we must manage our energy and then align it with our core vibration. Now, who you really are is a high vibrational being. A high vibrational state of consciousness is who you are. That state of being is who you are. We grow up and we attach ourselves to labels. We attach ourselves to these beliefs that this is who I am, when in actuality that's not who we are. But then we feel less than that positive emotion, thinking that that's who we are. At the fundamental core, you are so much more than you can imagine. We are literally dreaming that this is who we are, but we exist in a higher state of consciousness. And I believe when we go to bed every night, we wake up to these higher states of consciousness. And then what we do is we come back and we're dreaming that we're here. In the same way that we go to bed at night, we dream, I believe we wake up at a higher level of consciousness. And then what happens is we come back here, and in a way we go back to sleep. And this is a dream that we experience through the five senses. We interpret vibration through our senses, but at the fundamental core, we are still unconditional love and bliss. That's why most of spiritual work and personal development in this whole process, it's not about piling on some new ultimate epiphany idea. It's just about letting go. Letting go of what doesn't serve. Letting go of the things that are not conducted to how we prefer to be. Letting go of the attachments we have to certain beliefs. Letting go. It's all about letting go. But let me ask you this question. When it comes to having a high vibration, what are you holding on to that may be holding you back? Maybe it's a belief that you need to work your 9-to-5 job, that there's nothing better out there for you. Maybe it's a belief that in order for you to do what you love, you have to go through this long process of 4 years of college and all of these different things. And maybe for some reason it's not sitting with you. Maybe you find that there's a certain blueprint that's been laid out for you by your parents, by family and peers, that they expect you to be, and you don't feel like you're walking in that expectation. You feel like you're trying to do what will make them happy. And I've seen this a lot. I remember I grew up with a friend that wanted to be a musician, but his dad was always talking him out of it. Why are you going to go for that? Go to school. Go to college. Why are you trying to do this whole musician thing? And he had a band. He was in a good band too. but he was trying to be what he was expected to be. I was expected to be a lawyer. I was expected to go to college, but I believed more in my own vision for myself. I've always believed that by the time I was 30 years old, I'd be at a certain level. And get closer and closer to that. And I always believed that I'd own my own business. And I do that now. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything, or I'm saying this because your core vibration comes into play when you start to do what you want. And more so than just what you want, but what you are really connected to your heart space. Because you are unconditional love at bliss at your core, and anything less than that is an attachment to some way you think you should be. And you don't have to buy into it any longer. There's a simple formula you can use for tapping into your core vibration. And it has to do with simply following your excitement. In every moment, find out what you're most excited about doing, do that, and then just let that keep leading to the next most exciting thing. This will lead you. Maybe you don't know your whole core vibration, or what am I meant to be doing? Like me, I'm meant to be making videos and like speaking and helping people and stuff. Maybe if I don't know that yet, that's okay. But doing what you're excited about in the moment will lead to the next best thing, to the next best thing, to the next best thing. I just knew I was excited about a year and a half ago. I started making YouTube videos. Well, how's that going to get from here to here? My goal is to eventually be speaking in front of groups of people and be doing seminars. How does that lead to that? Well, I started doing that, and then it led to this, and it led to this, and it led to this, and now here I am, and I have the ability to speak and do an event and have people show up. Because it led to that. That is also my core vibration. Somebody commented on my Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, feel free, because I do a lot of content over there, plus I do live Q&As. And somebody asked me, they said, what is better? You talk a lot about taking massive action, but what about the law of least effort? And what I replied was, for me, taking action is the path of least effort because I love what I do. So it's natural for me. I just want to do things because it's part of my vibration. Sometimes we separate these things in our mind. We say, oh, this is what I'm passionate about. This is hard work. Many of the successful people of our past, people like Steve Jobs, people like Warren Buffett, people like many successful people have said, find out what you're passionate about and do that, because it won't feel like work. And because when it appears to be hard, you're willing to push through it when most people would give up. I'm going to figure out whatever I have to do because this is what I'm passionate about. And that is my core vibration. Follow your passion because your passion is your core vibration. And anytime things get tapered onto it that don't serve, you can learn to let it go. These things that get tapered on are these beliefs, these expectations about how you have to be. You are who you choose to be in this life. And you can make your own path. You don't have to follow the reins of social conditioning. You don't have to follow the expectations of what people think you should or should not be. But your core vibration is tapped into that, and that is who you naturally are. You know, when it comes to emotions and all of these things, like I said earlier, we think we must taper everything on, pile all of this stuff on. It's not about that at all. Just let go because it is who you naturally are. When we have this perspective, it's easier because we realize, oh, I don't have to try so hard. You know, we think manifestation is here I am and here I want to be. Oh my God, it's going to be so hard to get from here to here. It's a belief. What do you believe about the manifestation process? Because whatever you believe will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You'll get a reflection of that. But here's something I found to be even more powerful. The process of manifestation is really just about embodying your true core frequency, which is who you naturally are, which involves letting go of the ego's desires. The ego wants things because it can re-solidify itself in a certain way. Because, oh, I have this now, I feel even better about myself. But why does the ego want what it wants? This is when you get more into the core of who you are. You start asking these questions, you start to find answers. The brain looks for clues. The brain looks for patterns. But unless you don't have the brain works by asking questions, it then looks for the answers. Why do I want this type of relationship. Maybe you find that, you know what, I feel like I believe I need a relationship to be happy. I feel like I'm not already whole and complete. Then what you do is you're aware of it, you look at it, you observe it, and you let it be there, and it will go away. Funny paradox, but it's the way it works. If you observe something, an emotion that keeps coming up, it may just be a patterned emotion that keeps coming up because of some past experience, because you believed for so many years that you had to have someone else in your life to be happy. Well, you can be whole and complete already, and the paradox is that by doing that, you will attract someone quicker than ever. So people ask me all the time, Aaron, how do I attract a person into my life? Aaron, how do I do this? Aaron, how do I do that? You attract that person into your life by letting go, and more so focusing on the connection with yourself. Being in the star of your own movie, rather than trying to be the cameo in someone else's with that person you want to attract into your life. So it's really just about getting to the core of who you are and letting go of what doesn't serve, and as things come up that doesn't serve you anymore, you observe it and let them be there, and then they naturally start to fade away. Because everything else in our life is a pattern until we become aware of it. This is where everything changes. Me, I've become aware of a lot of patterns that I had growing up. Patterns of belief saying I wasn't worthy. And I had to look at those, and I had to become aware of them, and I had to let them go. And it's still, of course, there's part of it, it still comes up every now and then, but I still let it go. I observe it and I let it go. I'm aware of it. And the light of awareness is where all the power is. And then I can simply choose to be more of my core frequency. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Today's my last day in this place. The videos that from here going on are going to be in a new house. Maybe you've heard me talk about it or show houses on Instagram. But the thing is, I went for this hike yesterday and I just realized how much my life has changed in the last year. Things have moved so quickly. So exponentially fast things have grown. And I look at it and I'm thinking to myself, I feel so different. Like my life, my vibration feels so different. It's because I've been following my passion. And when I look back at my past, sometimes it feels a little bit nostalgic. As weird as that is, as much better as I feel like better than I've ever felt in my life. But it is different. And it's moving so fast. And days go by so quickly. And I love what I do. And the reason I say this is because it's something that as you start to follow, it just keeps leading to the next thing, the next best thing, and then eventually you're just in a completely different reality. And that's the time on the planet we're on right now. The time is for you to follow your passion, for you to tap into who you really are, because the more you tap into your true vibration, the more that trickles out to other people, even in ways you don't even understand. And by doing that, it will change not only yourself, but you'll change the people that are around you. Because as you align with your core frequency, you encourage others to align with their core frequency. That's where the power is. You are unconditional love and bliss. You seed through source energy anytime you feel that emotion, and anytime you have perspectives that connect you to other people. Anytime you have judgments or labels that's taking you out of that alignment. You can make the choice to be happy more often. You can make the choice that you are already whole and complete. You can make the choice to become more aware of these beliefs of why you want what you want. And as you become aware of whatever that is, observe it, let it go. Observe it, let it go. Follow excitement at every moment, and you will create a cascade of positivity in your life. A wave of success. So something else I'll be doing, like I mentioned earlier, is more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you haven't followed me already, you can follow me on Instagram right here. I also have a guided meditation that will show you how to connect to that core vibration. Raise your vibrational set point. It's absolutely free. You can download it in the top of the description box below. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here so that you can see the daily vids that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit that button to see those daily vids. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.